The first time Malcolm Murgatroyd actually connected with a kickball, he got so excited he ran the bases backward. It was pitiful. Poor Malcolm, forgetting at first to run at all, and then going off in that stupid gallop of his to third base, then second, then first. He didn't even know he'd done anything wrong. It was terrible. This was 3 years ago, when we were in third grade. The kids on our team were yelling and throwing their hands up and shouting, "Malcolm, you jerk! You're going the wrong way!" The kids on Mrs. Birmingham's team were cracking up and screaming, "Way to go, Malcolm! Way to go!" Like I said, it was terrible. The kids on Mrs. Birmingham's team said it was a reverse run. Eddie Baker called it an unrun, and said our team had to give up one of the runs we'd already scored. Bruce Wyatt threw a fit, since he had scored all 3 of our runs, as usual, and Dennis Duffy kicked so much dirt on home plate that Mrs. Birmingham threw him out of the game. Our substitute, Miss Spaulding, just stood there. She was responsible for Malcolm getting into the game. She was only a sub and didn't know the rules. Malcolm never played kickball or dodgeball or anything with us. We wouldn't let him. Our regular teacher, Mrs. Hinton, had quit trying to get Malcolm picked for a team months ago. But Miss Spaulding, being young and not used to third graders, insisted we let him have his ups. And he did. I thought Bruce was going to clobber Malcolm on the spot. "Murgadork, you imbecile!" Malcolm was smiling. He was bouncing on the balls of his feet. I suppose he still thought he'd done something good. "Quit bouncing!" Bruce's face was almost purple. "Stand still, you creep, so I can bash you." I guess that was when Malcolm realized his mistake, but he didn't apologize. All he said was, "I'm telling." That was one of Malcolm's biggest problems. He told. He told on everybody. He'd even tell on Bruce Wyatt, which was the stupidest thing anybody could do. You just didn't tell on Bruce Wyatt. "Baby." Malcolm scrunched his nose up. "Telling." "Sissy, baby, sissy baby creepo jerk." "Telling, telling, telling, telling." Bruce's fists were clenched. He walked right up to Malcolm, who was half Bruce's size, and bent down to look at him. Their noses were almost touching. "Oh, yeah?" Then Malcolm was calling, "Miss Spaulding!" But before the substitute could arrive on the scene, I snuck up behind Bruce and said, "Just leave him alone." Bruce whirled. When he saw it was me, his purple cheeks began to soften until they were a bright, embarrassed pink. "But, Hannah..." He kicked at a stone on the ground. "Please, leave him alone, okay? Please?" "Okay, but he's benched. He's not allowed to play anymore, not on my team." Malcolm opened his mouth to protest, but I stopped him with a look. Another of Malcolm's problems was he didn't know to quit while he was ahead, or while he still had a head. His jaw snapped shut, and he turned and slunk off toward the jungle gym. "Can I walk you home after school, Hannah?" Bruce was asking. My eyes were still on Malcolm, and I sighed at what I noticed. "Sure, Bruce," I said. But inside I was hoping that the nurse had a dry pair of underpants in Malcolm's size.